all I'm doing is swimming. I'm not doing workouts. I'm not looking at the pace clock. I'm not doing intervals. I literally just get in the water with no agenda other than to get wet and hear the sound of water going by my ears. Probably I'm not even swimming hard enough to get into zone 2, truthfully. I doubt my heart rate's above 120.
That's the next topic.
Yeah.
That's where I think this is a good segue. I think this is
very
apropos.
well.
If you think about it, you can talk about it, but I think that's one of the things is like a governor putting a rate limiter on your performance when you do zone 2. That it's almost like, for a lot of people, it is. For me, doing this reminds me kind of stillness, although I might read on the bike or things like that. But can you talk about zone 2 importance and how your thinking has changed on that?
Yeah. When I stopped riding a bike with a purpose, which was for me a time trial, so that would have been late 2014, early 2015, I kind of really just stopped doing any low intensity aerobic training. So anyone who does ride a bike or swims a lot has plenty of that activity in them. So even if you're training for the 200-meter individual medley, which is a race that's very short, very quick, and very painful, you still put in hours and hours a week of aerobic-based training. Similarly, if you're training for a 1-hour all-out time trial, you still put in hours a week of low-end aerobic-based training. But when I stopped doing that, I was like, well, I don't need to do this anymore. And I went from cycling to rowing and running. And I was sort of obsessed with just being as efficient as possible. So everything was all out. I mean, if I was running, it was going to be a 6-minute mile. It wasn't going to be a 9-minute mile. I think, especially through the interactions that I had with Inigo, who I met about a year before I had him on the podcast, which was just recently. It was sort of meeting him and kind of going back through the literature on that type of training and the benefits that it could have, both from the standpoint of metabolic benefits such as glucose, insulin-dependent and insulin-independent glucose-mediated disposal, looking at just sort of mitochondrial function, mitochondrial health, density, and then looking at sort of the sort of neurotropic factors, the BDNF secretion that can come from this type of activity. I mean, all of these things were just pointing towards this was a glaring hole in my training that I needed to get back. And so that has been great. And like you said, I mean, one of the things about zone 2 that I really enjoy is it's just not that hard. Like, frankly, sometimes it's just nice to get on the bike. And I probably spend 3 or 4 hours a week doing it. And that is my time to listen to podcasts and audiobooks. And I really enjoy it. I can't wait to get on that bike. As sort of boring as it seems to be sitting on a stationary bike for that long, there's never been a day when I've been like, I don't feel like doing this. I always look forward to it. And I think in large part, it's because I also get to combine it with learning, which you wouldn't be doing if you're out there crushing intervals. And not that there's something wrong with that. I think each of these things has this time and a place, but I think that we can do zone 2 our entire lives. We can do it safely, and it just yields enormous dividends.